Welcome to Space and Grace, the podcast for soul-led entrepreneurs done hustling for their worth. Let's build a life and business that actually feels like freedom. There's something I want to talk to you about today that most people don't want to talk about. Have you ever had that experience where you've done the work, right? You've created the thing, you've dreamt it up, you've created it, you've built out the back end, you've done all the things, but then when it comes time to share it, your body just stops. It's not dramatic and it's not loud. It's just this feeling of, what's the point? Why bother? And that thought sounds kind of simple, but what's actually happening underneath isn't simple at all. So if you've ever created something that's really thoughtful or beautiful or helpful and then not taken those next steps to share it, this episode is for you. A little while ago, I created a 3-part video series, and I'll link to it in the show notes. It's called Why You're Doing All the Right Things and Still Not Getting Rich. So I dreamt this up and I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be so helpful to so many people, right? It's so important that people understand what's happening, what's preventing them from taking action. And so this was just a really great reminder that I'm right there with you, right? I might have a couple of extra tools, but I experience the same things that you do as you're building your business. So I created the episode, I recorded the videos, I edited them, I built out the back end in Juicy CRM. I wrote the emails that were going to lead people to, downloading the videos. I created the social posts. And I also created the confirmation email once somebody had decided to download and the nurture sequence. So everything was ready to go. I just had to hit send, right? I had to send the emails and I had to publish the social posts. And what happened was I just felt my body collapse. Like a wet, heavy blanket was just descending, like one of those weighted blankets, which feels really nice if you're intending to put a weighted blanket on. Doesn't feel very nice when you're just trying to hit send on an email. So I just felt myself collapse, basically, like spiraling down. Like if you imagine a motor that just kind of peters out, it's kind of like vroom, vroom, vroom. And as I was slumped against the wall, the thoughts that were coming up were like, what's the point? No one's watching. No one cares. Why am I even bothering? Which is not very fun, right? Have you ever experienced something like this? Because a lot of my clients have the same sort of experience. It shows up in slightly different ways. And usually it shows up differently for me too. So in the past, what would have happened is I would have done all the work. And then before hitting send, I would have gone into some sort of overwhelm, some sort of confusion, some sort of doubt around like how I was going to deliver it. Like, should I really deliver it this way? Or should I quickly go and check out what this coach, what this expert is telling me and learn a whole new strategy? Or there just would have been so many distractions that felt really, really important to deal with, right? So it was my body's way of keeping me from taking the action by keeping me really, really distracted and overwhelmed. But that's kind of stopped working now because I'm onto it with all of the nervous system regulation work that I'm doing, with all of the capacity expanding. That isn't working anymore. That way of my nervous system telling me to stop, like screaming at me to stop, isn't working anymore. So it had to find something else. And that was to put me into collapse. And it feels very frustrating, but there was a piece of me that was also kind of impressed. I was like, oh, wow. Look at you getting more and more creative to stop me from doing the thing that's so risky, that could potentially kill me, right? Because anytime you put something out there, you're risking yourself. Or I should say, this is what my nervous system is telling me, that I am risking my life. I am putting myself out there. I'm going to get judged harshly. I'm going to get kicked out of the tribe and I'm going to die alone. Because if your body senses that you taking action is going to lead to danger, it's going to stop you. Not politely, not logically, but biologically. Your body does not give a crap about your goals. It just wants to keep you alive. And everything you've done so far has kept it alive. So why on earth are you risking your life by launching this new program or hitting send on an email that opens you up to visibility and therefore vulnerability? And growth, especially growth that leads to more money or more clients or more impact, or having more freedom or more energy, if that's unknown, your body's going to find any way it can. It's going to throw everything at you to get you to stop, because it's registering as danger in a system that's wired to keep you alive. So I'd love for you to just have a think about what happens to you in these moments. Do you go into overwhelm, procrastination of some kind, keeping yourself just overly busy, everything's equally important? Or do you notice that you power down, like it's really hard to take the action? Or, and it feels like it's an intuitive hit, right? You're like, oh, danger, danger. I'm getting this intuitive hit that you should do something else. But really, it's your body just keeping you safe. So you might go into overwhelm, you might go into collapse, or it might feel like boredom, like, oh, all the oomph has just died out of it. Like I was really excited, I was really, really lit up, and now I'm completely bored. And that is a state of nervous system dysregulation. It's what we call dorsal vagal. It's collapse. It's heavy. It's like how I described it. It's like having a wet blanket dumped on top of you so that you can't do anything. You completely lose your energy. And so what did I do? Like, as I mentioned, part of me was a little bit impressed that my body had found a new and creative way to get me to stop. And also, there was a piece of me that also was a little bit proud, because I'm like, oh, I've managed to work through that part of me that just wants to go into overwhelm and overcomplication. And so I was like, look at you stretching your bubble, expanding your capacity. So I was able to kind of have these thoughts at the same time as my body was just kind of leaning back against the wall and just going, oh my God, I don't want to do anything. You can't make me. So what did I do? I acknowledged it. Like I said, I was a little bit impressed with myself and with my nervous system. And then I just had a wee conversation. And I was like, okay, so we've done all this work. And when we did this work, we did it with the best of intentions. We did it because we want to help people. We did it because we have this information that can really, really make a huge difference to people out there building their businesses and finding themselves at, circling the same income level, or taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Like, this 3-part video series that I created is super, super helpful. So what's it going to take, nervous system, body, brain, to get us to hit send without feeling completely dreadful? Like, what do you need from me right now? What do we need to bring out into the light so that we can take this action that's a little bit risky? And 2 fears came up. The first one that I've already mentioned, it was that fear of being judged harshly and kicked out of the tribe and dying alone. And then there was actually another fear. What if it works? What if a whole bunch of people watch it and come flooding into my world? Because my body has experience, lots of experience of me forcing myself through exhaustion, of pushing through burnout, of just continuing to run even though it's giving me all the signals that I need to stop. So that's a pretty legit fear based on experience, that if I get everything that I say that I want, that I'm going to continue burning myself out. So my nervous system actually isn't being dramatic or unreasonable. It's actually being really logical based on evidence. It's trying to prevent me from killing myself. It's trying to prevent me from experiencing more pain. So what I needed to do was just remind it that what I'm doing here with Space and Grace, this is a completely different business model than the one I had when I earned lots of money and burned out. I regulate my nervous system multiple times a day when I'm feeling anxious or sad or just anything other than just like confident and clear. I practice stillness every day. I clear out that part of my third eye so that I'm just really, really still. I have boundaries that I didn't have before. And I am a different person now. I know more. I know how to regulate. I know how to make better choices. I've got much more information and I can do better things with it. And once I'd had that conversation with myself, my body just started, I could feel it powering back up again. I could feel it getting back online, getting back on board, until I got to the point where I was like, okay, can we do this? Can we hit send now? Are we good? And, it was all systems go, but in a good way, in a very gentle, calm way. There was nothing dramatic, and I just hit send. And this is the part of building a business that most people don't see, right? Because they might see the launch, or they might see the social post, or they might see the Insta reel, but they don't see those quiet negotiations that go on in the background that make the difference when you are building your business. Because I've said it before, we all know how to push and hustle. We can white knuckle our way to our results, right? But if you have done that, and I'm assuming that most of you have, then you get to the point where you don't want to build your business that way anymore. You know that you can't push and hustle your way to ease. You know that there's no amount of money where you're going to feel safe enough to actually rest and put your feet up and enjoy everything that you've created. You have to bake that in along the way, because you can have the perfect plan. You can have the perfect strategy. You can break it down. You can use all the planners and, all the goal setting techniques. And you can still not execute. Or you can execute, but from a place of so much force that eventually your body's going to shut down anyway. So if you've ever thought, I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it, just have a little bit of compassion for yourself. Your body is protecting you from what it believes is going to hurt you. There is something on the other side of that success that you're calling in that doesn't feel safe. A nervous system that feels safe will allow you to take action, even if it's slightly risky, even if it's stretchy. But a nervous system that doesn't feel safe is going to throw everything at you to get you to stop. And like I've said before, it might be procrastination, it might be overwhelm, complication, it might be collapse, but it's going to throw so much at you. It might be just really crappy thoughts. It might be those thoughts of like, what's the point? No one's listening. Who cares? Or it might be reminders of your failures in the past. It might be crappy conversations that you've had in the past, things you've done to people, things people have done to you. Like it's just going to keep throwing until something sticks because it wants you to stop. So we need to increase that capacity. We need to teach your body, your nervous system, your brain that it is safe for you to take action towards the goals that you say that you want. A nervous system that doesn't feel safe will freeze or run when an opportunity appears. It's why two people can have exactly the same opportunity and get completely different results. It's why two people can be in a program and do all the same steps and get completely different results. And this is exactly why I built my program, Rewired to Rich. It's not another strategy program, although we do work on your strategy. It's not just about mindset, although we do work on your mindset. It's all about regulating your nervous system and working on those limiting beliefs, those outdated programs, those conditions, those rules that you've been playing with that you probably aren't even aware of, that are keeping you where you are, keeping you stuck, keeping you away from that income level that you say you want, keeping you away from that life that you say you want. And we work on that so that taking action feels safe, so that growth feels safe, so that reaching your goals feels safe, so that success actually feels safe, so that making a crap ton of money actually feels safe. Because making money is one thing, but being able to hold on to it without sabotaging it, without throwing it all away, without burning everything down, that's a whole other thing. So if this episode landed for you, and if you're intrigued about this 3-part series that it was so hard for me to publish, please head to www.spaceandgrace.me/resources and you can download that free video series. I'll also leave the direct link in the show notes. And if you're ready to go deeper, let's have a chat about my Rewired to Rich program. So you can head to spaceandgrace.me/rewired to rich. You can have a look at the sales page. You can book a call. We can have a chat and see if it's your next best step.